Okay, so I grew up on Cape Cod, and the population on Cape Cod is largely white. That's that's pretty much the color of the day. And like the other day when I went to the library, I would go to the library with the intent of finding contemporary artwork or books on contemporary art, and there really was nothing. It was Baroque and classical and, you know, just black and white photos of old work. There was nothing contemporary. Maybe I might find something on Picasso. And it killed me. I tried to learn about new artists, and there was no information. I had access to no information. I wasn't brought up in an art literate house. We were culturally literate. My mom had 5 kids, and she volunteered in her church. She didn't read. And my dad was a lawyer who spent all of his time locked in his office, or in his section of the house anyway, trying to get away from the 5 kids. Pardon me. So I craved to learn about other artists. I moved to Boston. It was every gallery I went to was primarily, it was white art. It was white people's art. That's the only images I ever saw reflected. But thank God we live now. I love the internet. I love learning about other artists who do work I couldn't even conceive of having been made. And I hit on a show. What really got me was a few years ago, I was trolling around YouTube and I found a video. I'm always looking for people who do something completely fresh and new and original, and aren't just painting happy white kids at the beach, which is what I grew up with. So I'm trolling YouTube and I found a video or a show on PBS called Art 21. And now everybody kind of knows it, or a lot of people do. But the very first interview they did on their very first show, Art 21, featured an artist called Michael Ray Charles. And I saw him and I became obsessed with his work. He's a black artist out of New York City. He's doing really well. And he takes kind of classic, stereotypical images that white people had drawn of black people, in the, God, probably up through the 1950s. They're just so horrible. Use them like Aunt Jemima type characters or the little Sambo characters in the children's books. He's taken them and he's reappropriating the ideas and the images into something that's totally fresh and new. It's a confrontation for not just for white people, but for the art lovers, a real challenge, and also a challenge for black people, for African Americans, as to how they identify with the images that he's reproducing. But one thing I really like about his work is that it feels decrepit and old, and it feels like it's crumbling. It feels like it's crumbling under the weight of these cartoonish characters that were so readily used by advertising companies. I need you to find him, Michael Ray Charles. He makes commentary about. I think this is John Wayne. Oh, Elvis. Okay, he's done several paintings of Elvis with Elvis as a blackface, because Elvis took, what we think of as, or white people think of as rock and roll. He appropriated it from the African American community, from black community, and said, "Look what I made." Basically, well, he didn't. He also said, isn't it great? But then kind of swept that under the rug, like, look at how awesome I am. And his fans. His fans are like, no, I don't want to know where it came from. I don't want to know who developed this style of music. Here we are, the greatest show on earth. That's the greatest blow on earth. This type of character wouldn't have been unusual in the late 1800s, early 1900s, 1920s, 1940s. When lynchings were still happening. This would not have been an unusual image to see. This is one of my favorites where he's making a play on Mickey Mouse. But like I said, they're feeling decrepit. And I'm hoping, and I don't know, but I'm hoping the idea he's trying to express is the crumbling of this as a norm. The crumbling of racism as a norm. Again, I don't know. I'm watching from afar and just a super, super fan. But Michael Ray Charles, you can look him up on Wikipedia if you want to learn about him. I can't find a website for him, but he's out there and around. And the second artist I want to talk about is one I'm friends with on Facebook, and I feel so fortunate to have found him. His name is Leonard Maiden, Maiden. Leonard Maiden, Maiden. He has 2 Facebook pages. One is personal, where he sometimes loses his nut, and he cracks me up. And then his professional page, Leonard Maiden Studios. And here we've got Leonard posing with some of his paintings. And this one, which I'll show you again in a minute, is apparently at a gallery in I believe Louisiana now, called E&S Gallery. They're featuring his work. And I think everyone should see it. Let me just click on a video that he made of his work. This is the man I turn to when I'm not sure about the portraits I'm painting. Where are the lines? Where should the lights and the darks be? I look to him for balance and for color. I look to him for so many things, and he's been incredibly generous in sharing information with me. I love his work. I get lost in it. And like Michael Ray Charles, he's taking these stereotypical images and kind of turning them on their head. His work has a more classical feel, a classical illustrative feel to it. It's not like Michael Ray's where it's crumbling. It almost has a memory that's in his blood and in his bones. They're just beautiful. This said, work by Leonard Maiden available at Stella Jones, but I don't know if he's still there. I should have asked him, but I didn't. I want to show you an image, one of the first images I saw that really got me. And again, I don't know a heck of a lot about Leonard, except that he's kind and generous and incredibly talented. I just love his work. This is one of the first images I found. So he's taking a stereotypical idea, an image, and representing it to us. The idea of black people in cotton, which is, very much a reality. It had been very much a reality. The watermelon, I'm not really sure what he's saying about watermelon and black people, but it makes me so uncomfortable. I want to think about it all the time. I want to think about it, and I want to intellectualize it, and I get so excited to think, is he talking to me? Is he talking about black people in the past? Is he talking about images that were attached to black people, racist, that are now, of course we know, as racist images? I don't know, but I find it really exciting. I'm going to show you where the gallery I know where his work is hanging right now. It's E&S Gallery, and they are in Louisville, Kentucky. I wish I could get there. I'd love to see his work in person. From what I gather, E&S Gallery is primarily a black gallery. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I wish I could go and visit and see all the work there. So it's E&S, and they're showing my friend Leonard Maiden Please Google his work. Please find him on Facebook. He does not have a Facebook. He does not have a website yet, from what I understand. And I don't know if I don't remember if I mentioned this, but look at those faces. These are the types of faces. His work, his portrait work, is what I turn to when I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. This is the man who shows me what I'm doing right. This is an artist who excites me beyond excitement. I think that's what I want to say. I have trouble sometimes with whites and shadows, and I don't really understand what I should be doing differently. This is the man I turn to. That's how much I value him. So I strongly suggest you look up Michael. Look at that. Look at that. I was having trouble with glasses a couple of paintings ago, and this is the one I came to. Anyway, so Michael Ray Charles and Leonard Maiden. You please find them online. Start following Leonard. I think he's a really important artist to be following, to watch. I think he's an extremely important artist to watch. Anyway, okay, I got to get out of the chair. I've been in it for far too long the past 2 days. My brain is melted into my butt, and I got to get them up and walking and take Bugsy for a walk. Anyway.